They told him today that his potassium is very high and that he could have a heart attack today on the machine. What should I do? Anything you can tell me what would be helpful? Well, that's the problem that they have with this. The problem, and the catch-22 is, you've got to eat your fruits, your berries, and your melons, and try to stay away from too watery of them, especially if you're on dialysis, because you don't want to have too much edema. But the reality is, all your fruits, your berries, and your melons, and your salads and all this all have sodium and potassium in it. You can't eliminate potassium out of your diet because your kidneys are in trouble. You have to fix the kidneys. And because of that, they'll switch you to a high-protein diet. And then hell just keeps on going down. You're sinking down the rabbit hole a lot quicker. If you're on a raw diet and you're working on your kidneys, you're working on your lymph system, you're going to be okay. This is the best scenario you're going to be in because you're not on anything that's clotting. You're on hydrating sodium and potassium. You get a clotter like a protein. You've got protein, you've got phosphorus, you've got all the acid principles, high aminos and things like this. And so all of these things structure you out high nitrogen stuff. And you just damage the kidneys more and more. There's no coming out of that. There's no getting off of dialysis like that. And you want to get off of dialysis. That's why you don't want to get on dialysis. The medical doctors are not taught anything different than this. And so that's the road they keep driving down. And that's the road they take everybody else down. And that is the same fear they feed everybody. When your kidneys go down, yeah, your potassium levels are going to have problems because your kidney structure is down. Same thing with the sodium and the adrenal glands. So you have to have chemistry in balance, in a homeostasis, number one. You have to have chemistry that can be excreted when the body's getting too much of it. And that's the thing about an alkali. So your acid principles are going to always jerk the electron out of that. If you go to the protein side, you'll damage your kidneys further and you're off to hellville real quick. If you try to eliminate potassium out of your foods, you're going to all cook foods and you're going to all more, again, high nitrogen phosphorus foods, more your protein foods. No. You can never win the game that way. You can't live in fear, but you have to live on the right diet. Supplements are not the answer either. You want to take foods that have the ability to excrete an overage of chemistry when the body doesn't need it, but you have to work on elimination, and that is your kidneys. But that's right where the problem is, obviously, dialysis. And the more you're on dialysis, the less you pee, and that is not a good sign. And when you lose, you're so swollen, you lose urination altogether, that's not where we're going here. And that's why when I look at blood work and I see that creatinine creeping up, I'm going, oh. But we work on the kidneys no matter what. I don't care what you got, kidneys and adrenals. And you can just hug up right with that the lymphatic system, because that is. The same herbs for the kidneys and adrenals, though, especially the foods, are definitely lymphatics as well. Your diet is key. I would be more cautious about watery fruits, having too much liquid. You don't want to increase your dialysis. You want to start cutting them down to 3 days to 2 days if you can. So you want more of your grapes. I would be careful with orange juice and juicing. You don't want to swell up because you're so dehydrated. And this is all what happens when you lose the kidneys. So again, kidney formulas, a lymphatic formula, adrenal glands, these are the minimum formulas that you want to go with this. And a fruit, berry, and I'd stay away from melons, to be honest with you, on a dialysis case. Too much water. He is eating celery, greens, carrots, beets, apples, berries, heel all tea, and smoothies with berries. Okay, so Diana, I would take him off of the celery. The greens, I'd take him off the vegetables. Beets, you might keep him on beets. Pretty strong on the kidneys, I'll tell you that. They are excellent for the kidneys. Apples, berries, bananas, mangoes, grapes, cherries, figs, dates, things like that. and that'll be helpful for him. And as you work with the kidneys and get those kidney herbs and stuff, everything will come back online with him. You want to try to get him to filter. If he's peeing, if you can get him to filter and he starts improving, we can get him down to 2 days a week. Because once you start filtering, that's your end. Now you're not going to back it up into the blood anymore. You don't have to worry about that because you're starting to filter. But you have to be able to urinate well and filter. So that's where I would go with that. Be careful with the smoothies. Other than that, just like I'm saying, just too much liquids. Other than that, I think you're doing pretty good. Stay away from the celeries and greens, things like that. Beets, I'm accepting of the beets, I think, a little bit there.